Angel Heart Radio programs should not be used to replace your legal or medical advice. Welcome everyone to Angel Heart Radio. You are our focus. We want you to know that you matter in the world and that you're important to the world. We're here to remind you of just how valuable and needed you are right now. Help us to help others. If you like what you hear, tell your friends, post, tweet, pin, let everyone know how amazing Angel Heart Radio is. So again, welcome to Angel Heart Radio. Powered by love, Angel Heart Radio is sponsored by AngelLight777.com.
Hello everyone, I'm Annette McCoy, and I would like, in welcoming you, I would like to offer an apology. We are starting an hour earlier than normal, and I've been very remiss. I did not put that out on Facebook or anywhere. I'm trusting that those who need to listen to this show as it is presented will be here. So welcome. And I also trust that those who are regular, who might miss this, will go to the podcast and listen at a time that is most appropriate for them. If you need to know more about Angel Heart Radio, wow, we have angelheartradio.com. We also have Anaya Joy Holili's personal website, which is angellight777.com, and that has a specific area for Angel Heart Radio, as well as lots of other things to offer on angels and Anaya. It's an absolute feast if you would like to go there. And wow, thank you for tuning in. I'm really excited, as I usually am, at when I'm presenting a show, because I believe that I do offer a lot. I offer information, I offer fun, laughter, joy, and I hope entertainment as well as knowledge. And of course, I'm assisted in doing that by my guests. And today's guest, Agnes Vivarelli, she and I have never actually physically met, but boy, do we have fun across the airwaves. I so enjoy having you on here, Agnes. Welcome.
Thank you, Annette. Thank you. It's good to be back here with you, and yeah, we'll talk about another interesting subject, and hopefully it will help some of the listeners.
Indeed, yes. What do you really want? Because anything is possible. And Agnes, I dare say, listeners are shaking their heads going, no. It's not. And I know from personal experience that maybe I haven't asked that question and answered it honestly. Maybe I've tended to go, yeah, this is what I want. And I haven't really gone deep enough or been quiet enough to really listen to my heart. And so what excites me about all of this is that my body gives me messages all the time.
Yeah. Your body and your external experiences that you're living right now, it'll tell you a lot about the bits of life that you love and that you want, and those bits that you don't love and that you don't want.
Exactly. The thing is, though, do we listen? Am I really honest with myself? And I think that's the message I'd like to get out today. Personal honesty. Are we prepared to really look at ourselves and see what it is that we love about what we're doing and who we are, and then looking at what we might like to change?
Yes. And usually, I find when I look back at my own experience, it was all the don't wants that I was living that gave me the knowledge of what I did want. Because when you're really living something unpleasant, it's usually the opposite that will give you the pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, working in a job that you really don't like, getting up every morning, traveling to work, traveling home, working for someone that you may not really enjoy them, you may not enjoy the tasks, you may not enjoy or be in line with the values of the company, that feeling of feeling trapped in that environment will tell you there are the opposite available, as in being free, perhaps working from home, perhaps working for people and a company that you're in line with. So it gives you the mirror image, and then it's putting your focus on that, the wanted part, living from it, imagining it, setting intentions. Those kind of ways of going about it have certainly worked for me, and it's created a whole different life for me than where I was 2 years ago. So it does work steady, slowly sometimes, never fast enough for us, of course.
That's right.
But it does unravel, like we were talking about before the show. Things happen at the appointed time. So if you continue steady, focusing on the end results you want, then you deactivate the results you don't want.
And it is so important, isn't it, for us to concentrate on what we want, whether it be in our body or our job or our home. It's so true, because what we focus on is what we create. So I dare say a lot of us, and I can put my hand up here, are creating what we don't want because that's what we tend to focus on.
Yes, correct. And you can't focus on a problem and get a solution. It just doesn't work that way. It is, like you say, we get what we focus on. It's a focus-based universe, and the universe photocopies where our focus is.
So if we want the drama, and a lot of us create drama and without realizing that that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Yep. I read a fantastic book years ago called The Map, and it was written by Bonnie Lonsbury, and she takes you through how to get clear about what you want, setting intentions, whether it's relationships or money or work, and she goes through it in quite a lot of detail, and it is absolutely a great book, and it is called The Map for a reason. It's a map of how to get there from where you don't want to be to where you want to be. So, that helped me tremendously at the time, and I find now my life is very much the way I want it to be in terms of freedom and creative work and working from wherever I am and traveling and mixing work and seeing people that I love. It's a combination of all those things, and now having, much greater income and then much greater freedom because of that. But I had to let go of two very deep old beliefs. You have to work hard for money, and creative people don't make money. Those were two beliefs I had to let go of to be able to get there.
And they're big ones.
Yeah.
I love the way that you manifest money. And I did laugh yesterday morning when I was out walking and I found $5. It was like, oh my goodness.
Nice. Nice.
Have not found a note for so long, and it was like, oh, thank you, universe. It was simply sitting there, and I went, oh, how good is that?
Lovely.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
So it is important for us to concentrate on what we want. I hear you. I'm hoping that our listeners hear us. to have a look at what is pleasurable in our lives and be grateful for that, and then to see what is it that I really, really want. And so often we can get trapped, I believe, Agnes, for security reasons. No, but if I leave this job, where's the money going to come from? So we're caught in that net, if you like, and it takes real courage to say, I will be provided for, or more importantly, I am being provided for. So it's
also remembering that company isn't the source of your supply. You are. You're the one that generates and creates. That company that you work for is only one channel, and remembering that there are other greater channels that exist, but you have to try and drop your fear and say, I'm open to those other channels. I'm open to those other amazing companies, or starting my own business, or whatever it is that you move towards that belief system before you actually go.
Yes. Open up the possibilities. Listeners, it's your opportunity. Why don't you share your stories? Or maybe you have a question that you would like to ask. Now, it's really easy for those of you in America. However, Agnes and I would say it's easy from anywhere, especially with a cell phone or a mobile, as we call them here in Australia. Why not? As long as you know, please know your international calling rights, because I don't want someone to create a bill. However, lots of mobile packages these days include international calls. So it is +1 from anywhere else but America. And then 714-583-6858. And of course you can call in via Skype. There are lots of options. So maybe that's an opportunity for you today. Agnes, I know that you have hundreds of clips up on YouTube, and how wonderful. People can go there, put in your name, and whatever they might be looking for, invariably you will have a clip on such.
Yeah, there is a lot of YouTubes now all on manifesting and success stories from people that have sent in success stories on creating their dream relationship, or their most meaningful job, or travel that they've never been able to have, or having a child when they couldn't fall pregnant, or whatever it is. There's been someone that's applied the law of attraction and many techniques from Neville Goddard or Wayne Dyer or Louise Hay or Esther Hicks from Abraham Hicks. They've applied the techniques that have been talked about, and then they've got a result, and they've gone through that result systematically. So I read their stories, and then I interview them face-to-face, so then we get their own version of it live. So I think that's always good, so it's not a made-up story. And lots of meditations and different techniques to help people. Well, it's basically you're where you don't want to be and you want to be somewhere else. So it's techniques that can help you get there. That was the whole idea of the channel, was to give people relief. In a nutshell.
Well, what I like most about all that you do is, it's out there for people to see on YouTube and through your website. The thing is, though, you have managed to create all of this yourself, so you're not putting out there anything that you haven't experienced personally.
Yes, true. And that, I always think if someone hasn't manifested, how can they really advise me or how can they really help me? They need to know where I'm standing and where I want to go, and they have to have experienced both sides of that coin. So, yeah, I think it's definitely easier to really explain the mechanics of something to someone from an emotional point of view, a mental point of view, and a physical and spiritual point of view if you've actually walked in their shoes. So, yeah, I don't coach anyone on anything that I am not currently able to say I've created in my own life. So, yeah. And that's taken time to create all that because I really struggled in relationships. I struggled with my health and I struggled with money and work. I really disliked what I was doing for many, many years and was paid very, very little. So all of those areas have had to change and develop and improve. And I have to be my own walking billboard to be able to do this work, really.
Well, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
And I like the fact
good.
that it's out there. You're giving people the opportunity to see what is possible. And then, of course, if they go to your website, they can see the packages that are available and how you are wishing to be of service as a coach, if you like, a mentor, an assistant, supporter, prodder.
Yeah. But you know, Annette, I think this is the thing that I really noticed within our New Age industry is a lot of people spend a lot of time promoting themselves. And I remember thinking when I would go to YouTube and I would watch something, I'd think, okay, I've just hopped on a YouTube. The title really attracted me. I really want to learn about this. But then that person would start asking me to subscribe and join their email list or join them on Twitter or Facebook or whatever. And I thought, hang on a minute. If you're into the law of attraction, you're into New Age stuff, isn't it about attraction rather than promoting at that level? What about giving me something first rather than trying to get me to give you something? So I really decided that I would make note of that because it was something that I didn't want to do in my own YouTubing. I want to be able to give people something that's going to help them. Even when I'm asleep at night, they can access the YouTube, they can get some information, they can contact the people directly that manifested certain things through their success stories or through their interviews. So those people can pay it forward to the viewers. It's not just me. So I really wanted to come from that place of really giving to people and then letting go and allowing whatever was going to happen. Because when I started this, it was a hobby. It wasn't a business. It was literally something I had studied for 25 years at the time, and I really loved it. And I had one friend that I used to talk to about it, and we did it together. But I thought there's so much good information. Wouldn't it be great if we could put a lot of, especially the old authors that are dead now, put their information and knowledge into 2017 at that time, 2018, English words that are easy and simple to understand. So that was part of what I wanted to do, was simplify the old ways of speaking and bring it up to date into this time that we live in now. So that was part of the inspiration for me, was to do that as well.
Good for you.
Yay!
I admire you so much because you have done it. You're sharing what works for you. Now, as well as your website, of course, you have books that you have created as well. A person of interest. And what I liked about that, and of course you've stepped it up with YouTube, which is possibly easier to access in this day of technology. But there are stories there, and people have given you their stories and also the timeline. So they might have been looking for a new home, and yet it might have taken 2 years to come by. They might have been, as you've said many times, looking for a relationship. And often, well, it doesn't happen overnight, rarely does, because there are things that we need to change in us, possibly, including our belief system. What is it? And sometimes, Agnes, those beliefs are well hidden or they're buried deep within us.
Yes, yeah. The great way to discover beliefs, the simple way, is look at what you're living that you're really not happy with. And then you can rewind that back. Like if you've got a job and you're working 60 hours a week and you get one day off, then you go, okay, and I really don't want to be doing this, then there's a good chance you've got the belief, I have to work hard for money. The evidence tells you that. So that's how you can discover your beliefs, by what is it that I'm living that I really don't enjoy? And then you sit down and you write, okay, what are my thoughts about my job? What are my thoughts about money? What are my thoughts about relationships? What are my thoughts about health? And you will rewind back to, I think relationships are hard, or money doesn't come easily to me, or I never have enough money, or I always have to work in a job that I don't like. You know, those kind of deep beliefs really create our external experience. So you don't even, even with people around you, you don't even need to ask them what they believe. You just look at what they're living and it will tell you.
Cool. Well, I'm learning, as we always do, Agnes. That to me is really important. You know, yes, we're teachers. We're also students in every situation. It's so important for me to know that, acknowledge that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you are knowing about the Ho'oponopono prayer, Annette, I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's the forgiveness prayer that comes from Hawaii. The whole thing is that if you've got something in front of you, it's like, what is going on in me that this is here, and what do I need to let go of and forgive and dissolve? And with that Dr. Hugh Len that went to the mental hospital in Hawaii, and he didn't go there to work on the patients or help the patients. He says he went there to work on himself and dissolve the part of himself that created them. So I think about my work that way, because I'm working with people that are, most of my work is relationship and work, unhappy work situations related. So I ask myself, what's a part of me that attracts this by the clients that come to me over and over? What do I still need to dissolve within me?
Cool.
I'm not really helping them. Yeah.
Let's help our listeners by refreshing them. Now, I know there are 4 statements. Sometimes I get them back to front. And I think, well, really, as long as I'm saying something with feeling and love, it doesn't matter. Whatever series I feel comfortable with, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you.
Yes. And see, the great brings in everything, doesn't it? There is the asking for forgiveness. So it's awareness, forgiveness, and gratitude. And it's the gratitude. Now, I am sorry, I love you. Or was it please forgive me? See, that's where
I'm sorry. I think that, look, at different times I've heard it said in different ways, but the way I've been doing it, so I remember, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you.
Thank you, yes. And we say that over and over again. So listeners, if you have heard that for the first time, Ho'oponopono, check it out. A lovely, lovely story. And, of course, a tool that we can continually use. And, Agnes, we have a person waiting very patiently on the switchboard. So let us see what this person has to say. Hello and welcome to Angel Heart Radio.
Hello, is that Annette?
It is. Hello, Bob.
Hey, I'll just plug in my earphones, okay?
That's fine. Agnes.
There we go.
This is Bob. Bob, meet Agnes.
Hello, Bob.
Lovely to meet you, Agnes. And I love coming to this show because, and I'm very selective. I feel the energy. That guy that said, "I think, therefore I am," got it wrong, because for me, I feel, therefore I am. I experience my life through my senses. But I'd just like to respond to the topic of your show and how I've achieved what I wanted to do in my own journey. Now, for me, what do you really want? There's actually two strings to that bow for me. What I wanted, after 40 years of drama and intensity and fighting suicide and all that stuff, what I wanted was to find my own contentment. And I've achieved that, and it, as you say, it's not easy. I started seriously doing the work in 1990 and only really broke through the icy crust about 6 or 7 years ago. But the two strings to that bow for me are wants and needs. Now, I had to get mastery of my needs before I could move on to my wants. And let's see, needs are food, clothing, shelter, nature, nurture. So it's my job to nurture me. And so I looked at my life and I made this conscious choice that whatever is not nurturing for me, I simply call the beast, and I no longer feed the beast. So that's just like saying, where attention goes, energy flows. So in my life, anything that's not nurturing for me, and I'll feel whether it's nurturing, I do not go there. And once I've got mastery of my needs, my wants were easy. I want a Ferrari or I want $1 million. No, my goal was personal contentment. And so how I've achieved that is just by setting my own conscious life intention, which is, I am here to have a gentle, joyful, loving, and abundant life. So that's my command to the universe, and also my address. So now, living in the moment, I am master and commander of my life and take full responsibility for this life that I do create. And every event that I create in my life holds a lesson for me to learn. And it's probably aware about, it was last March, I lost my home. I lived on a boat. I lost my home and everything to Cyclone Debbie that came through here and picked it up and threw it at the PCYC. But people said, "Oh, Bob, you lost everything." But there were two pluses for that experience. One is to live through a Category 5 cyclone and witness Mother Nature at her most bold and brassy. But the most important thing was the lesson I learned from that experience that I created. And that was to totally let go of the attachment to things. I managed to save my two little dogs and get in the dinghy and get ashore and find safe haven. And so I lost all those material things, but that lesson I learned was priceless.
Yes.
For me, it's all about living consciously and taking responsibility for my life. I create my life, so I can't blame anybody for anything, because at the end of the day, it's all my fault, And I just wish that other people could, not walk in my shoes, but come into my skin and feel the life that I'm experiencing now, and this attitude of gratitude.
Whoops. I've just cut Bob off. I do apologise, Bob. I totally agree with you, and I'm sure, Agnes, you do too.
Yeah, I think those moments of being totally wiped out in some area really does make you, well, it's like a forced surrender. You have to surrender and let go, or you totally drown in the just all those emotions that you're having. I mean, of course, we're human and we have a human response to those kind of things for, sometimes longer than a week or a month, sometimes it's a year. But I think when you can reflect on it the way Bob has and really take and look for the goodness in it, I think that's a very wonderful mind that can look at the glass half full rather than half empty at that time, because it'd be very easy to look at it half full for quite a long period of time under those circumstances. So
yes, to see it half
what a
empty.
wonderful, yeah, definitely. So what a wonderful thing, Bob, that you can see it that way and that you can actually turn the lemons into lemonade, as they say.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I loved Bob's comment about, he wishes that other people could feel and
get
see.
Into his skin and feel it.
Get into his skin. I understand that, because we're unable to walk in other people's shoes, which is what Bob said as well. But if we could, to see that, he's come through so much, and also, Agnes, we can say the same for you. You're the first to put your hand up and say, hey, it hasn't been easy. However, I love where I am at the moment.
Yeah. And letting go of an old life. You're letting go of an old life, really.
Yes.
And for me, it was letting go of someone else being the source of my supply of income. It was about stepping away from working hard for money and getting into being inspired, driven and meaningful work driven rather than I have to do this job for money. That was what I had to switch from, that old belief to this one. And also having to face the fears of security, because when you work for yourself and it's just beginning, you do have some pretty heavy duty fears about, am I going to make it? Am I going to be homeless? Am I going to have to live with a relative? Am I going to have to, camp while I'm roaming around Australia or whatever? You have those thoughts of, well, how am I going to pay the basics? What Bob was talking about the basic needs, So I had to face that I was 48 years old when my business was beginning, and yes, I'd written the books, but they weren't, no one knew me or would just go and buy that book because it wasn't on bookshelves. It was literally online sales, and no one knew. I mean, you're an unknown author. People don't know you, and you really are starting from scratch. So I thought, well, I've got to really face these deep old fears of survival and these deep old fears of how am I going to make it, and I'm getting older and I'm going to be 50 soon, and what are you doing, and I've got to learn all this new technology, and can I even do that? I don't even understand. I was working manually doing displays in homeware stores. I was very much a manual worker. I had not worked online ever before. I used it for email and Skype, with friends. That was all I used my computer for at that time. So I really had to jump in. And at that stage, I thought YouTube was for people that were younger than me. That was my belief.
Right.
Now I can see that there's all sorts of people online, the real young ones, the ones in the middle, and the ones that are, older doing other things. So the people that actually have the belief, I can learn this, and they don't go, oh, no, that's too hard, I can't learn this. People that let go of the I can't learn this are online and doing something, and it's overcoming your own, defending your limitations of that. I can't do this.
Indeed.
So,
Now, we have another caller. How exciting is this? Area code 347. Welcome to Angel Heart Radio. Silence. Woo. area code 347. Welcome
Hello.
to Angel Heart Radio. Hi. Who are we speaking to?
This is Katie. Thanks for taking my call.
Well, our pleasure. We love taking calls. It's really gorgeous.
Hello, Katie.
Hi.
Welcome.
So, yeah, welcome. And what would you like to share?
I'm trying to open myself up and attract what I want. And I feel I'm doing it. I feel I'm consciously doing it, but I don't know what's taking so long for it to manifest.
I'm sorry, I had a little giggle there, Katie, because I think we can all say that. Patience is a virtue, I'm learning.
Well, no, I think I've been plenty of patient. So it's like I'm ready now.
Katie, can I share something with you?
Sure.
With manifesting, when you're needing patience, what that tells you is I'm still thinking of it, as in I'm over here and the thing I want is way over there. Okay? So when you are practicing thinking from it rather than thinking of it, and what I mean by thinking from it is you're not over here and it's over there, you're over there with it. So you hop into, I love enjoying this. I love having this. I love knowing that I'm here now. I love knowing that that state of me not having it is behind me. I remember when I didn't have it. I remember when this was not a part of what I was living. I feel relief. I feel joy. I feel excited. I'm here. I did it. I did it. I did it. That solution thinking, that's living from it. When you're in that state, you don't need patience. Because you have bridged the gap of being in the not having it feeling place, and you've jumped into the having it feeling place. And I can tell you that's manifested a fabulous relationship for me. It's manifested increasing my income at least 4 times. It's manifested me traveling and working. It's manifested me being free. It's manifested me literally having all the pieces fall into place, because I no longer think of it over there. I imagine it before I go to bed every night, over and over, one scene where I'm having, enjoying, using the thing that I want to have. And you do that every night before bed. This is not my technique. It comes from Neville Goddard. He calls it living in the end. And it has worked for me over and over and over again for over 25 years.
So you kind of just imagine, I mean, I did it before, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what happened to my manifesting skills. I did do it before. I wanted to move somewhere, and I manifested the money and everything to move in like 3 weeks. And I didn't have any money, any job. I manifested like $20-something thousand in like 2 weeks. But I haven't done that since. And
can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Go back and relive when you did it, because if you do that, you're going to be in the feeling place of I did that and that happened, and you relive it. The universe doesn't know if it's a present thing or a past thing, and it will deliver it to you again, because it's the feeling place and the living from it feeling and the what you're focusing on. Because when we don't get a manifestation, it's because we're focusing on I did this before, but for some reason I can't do it again. And then you put the focus on I'm not doing it again, and I'm not doing it again, and I'm not doing it again, and I'm not doing it again. And that's the most active vibe within you, and that goes forth, and then the universe can't deliver it. So if you hop into I am now in it, reliving when I was in that situation. It looked not very good, and then I manifested all that money and all the doors opened. Go back and relive that again and again and again every night. Walk yourself through it mentally, what you did, the scenes that occurred, and then the emotions that you felt, and that will send and project out a totally different line of energy, because really it's a line of energy between you and the thing you want, which is over there. If you create that strong line of energy, it collapses space and time between you, okay?
Yeah. Well, I can definitely try this and see how it works, but I think that's what I need to do, have a set time and just do it every day, because that's what I used to do. I used to have a set time and do it every day. I actually do that. Yeah, it's the discipline of focus, the discipline of concentration that creates end results. So does it matter that I want to use it? So that was like a money-based or moving-based.
Yeah.
So this is more I want a relationship. So is it different or is it the same thing? Like, meaning the manifesting part is the same, even though it involves another person?
Well, the other person is you pushed out. So whatever you're getting in front of you is a direct reflection of what you've got going on within you. So I probably 75% of my coaching is people that either want a specific person or someone that wants a new relationship. And everybody has the common thing in common is they're standing in a place of not feeling loved or wanted. You cannot attract a relationship when you're not feeling loved or wanted or secure, because that is pushing love away. So if you work on your self-love really strongly and work on I am loved, I am wanted, I'm secure, I'm a priority, I'm important, I matter, those affirmations, and you know, when I work with people, they do them about 500 to 1,000 times a day. That sounds like a lot, but you can do 1,000 affirmations in about 50 minutes if you're doing it all in one sitting, because I do it myself every day. So, you know, it doesn't actually take that long. You can do 30 minutes of 500, and you literally say those affirmations, and you get that self-love feeling up really strongly, because if you feel loved, you are. If you feel unloved, you are. If you feel unwanted, you are. If you feel wanted, you are. You are what you feel all the time, you see. So you're not going from being single to being in a relationship. You're going from feeling unloved to feeling loved. That's what you do to attract, whether it's a specific person or someone totally new. You shift that within you, and it just changes the whole playing field.
Okay, I mean, you know how people, you read things all the time, and then someone tells you it, and then when someone tells you it, like, kind of a little bit differently, I think you're genius. Even though I've heard this before, it just because, I don't know, something a little different coming from you. It sounds a little, I don't know, just that little metaphor you just did was amazing.
Well, good. Well, the thing is, we keep thinking I've got to find the right person, or there's no good men out there, or there's no good women out there, or I'm getting older and there's not as many people. All of that is just thoughts that don't help you get to where you want. All we need is one person, and all we need is to feel the other person isn't our source of love. We are. If you are in a loving, self-loving state and you radiate that out, you attract a relationship pretty quickly. But when you're looking for love over there, you're screwed. Yeah,
and I think I've been going out, which is good, because I haven't been going outside for a while because I was in school. So now I'm starting to come out. Yeah. But that's just one part of it, actually going outside.
Yeah.
There's a whole nother energy part, which I think I've been missing. And this is what I need to do. Well, thank you. Yeah. I'm going to contact you girls in about a month.
And you're going to have a great success story saying, you'll never guess what.
Yes. I'm going to go on your page. I love this. I really love this. And I'm going to do it.
Well done.
You know what? Can I say one more thing, Katie?
Yeah, sure.
It's like 3 things for relationships. 3 things are the most it's like a three-legged stool if you want to see it visually. First thing is doing self-love, and for me the simplest way is doing lots of affirmations that are self-loving, I am statements, I am loved, I am wanted, etc. The second thing is doing self-love meditations where, Louise Hay does them, I do them on YouTube. There's lots of people that do self-love meditations. You listen to one of those a day, so you input and reprogram. So first thing is self-love. The second thing is remembering everyone is you pushed out, which is what we were talking about with Annette about the Ho'oponopono. If you have the absence of a relationship, the absence tells you that I'm not feeling loved enough to bring a person in. So you go, okay, I'm going to do the self-love meditations, I'm going to do the affirmations, and then I'm going to remember the absence of someone is something that I need to correct. What are my thoughts and feelings about relationships, about men, about myself? What are the negatives? And then you find a whole negative list, and then you flip those into the positive. So if you've got men always leave me, or I'm always abandoned, you go, the man I choose stays. The man I'm with, we have a connected, loving relationship. So you reprogram that. The third thing is living from the end. You must live from the end, which is what we talked about before, creating the line of energy. So if you can remember those three things and work on those every day, it shifts the whole energy of you, and the whole thing of you radiating love out brings love in.
Yes, you know what I used to use? I used I think her name is Shatiki Gawain. You create visualization.
Yeah, I know her.
That's what I almost forgot. That's what's part of it. You would write down what you wanted, and then on the back side, you would write down all the negatives, and then you would change them to positive. Yeah, that was part of it. What you're saying is part. I totally forgot about that part. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yay.
I'm definitely going to do this and see how it goes.
Well, Katie, I can hear a big difference in your voice. So your energy has shifted.
Yeah.
That's good.
I went out a few times, and I'm like, I'm not meeting anybody I like, or who I like is not, saying anything to me. So I'm feeling a little like giving up or something.
Katie, you know what a good affirmation is for that?
What?
Sorry, Annette. This is the best relationship I've ever had. This is the best relationship I've ever had. This is the best relationship I've ever had. This is the best relationship I have ever had. You say that, and you do your self-love, and you radiate that out from your heart, out. Wow, what a relationship that's coming to you when you're in that zone.
Yes, just saying that. You just hear what you say that.
I know. Well, I say it regularly. We've got a fabulous relationship with an incredibly supportive, giving, loving, amazing man. Well, it is the best relationship I've ever had. It is. So, it's definitely possible.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm definitely going to contact you girls in a month or so.
Lovely. And, Katie, I want to thank you for calling in, because not only have you assisted yourself, you have assisted many others, because so many people, including myself, are looking for that very, very special relationship.
Yes. Well, thank you all. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good night. Thanks.
Agnes, we never know what's going to turn up, isn't it? I want to thank Bob and Katie, as well as yourself. What an amazing time we're spending. And, wow, Christmas is coming. And I believe Christmas is every day. It's what we look for in the day, what we create in our days.
Exactly right. More love, more self-love. Honestly, I think self-love is the answer to fixing everything on the outside. It really corrects. The more I've worked on that in my own life, the more everything all the wrinkles have been ironed out in relationships, with money, with work, with travel, with family members, difficulties with people. It has ironed everything out. Everything.
Mm. Because love is what makes the world go around. And if we're loving ourselves, well, then it's possible for us to love others and for others to love us. And this is where, Agnes, I see the big concerns with bullying and victims. But if we're either of those, we're not loving ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and changing. You know, Annette, I think the thing I see the most in terms of any kind of relationships is people thinking someone else is their source of, if they love me, I will feel better, or if they like me at work, I will feel better. Because there's different levels of love. Obviously, you don't call it love in the workplace. You call it getting on with your colleagues and all that sort of thing. But it is a mutual likability, a mutual understanding. It's just, we don't use the word love in that arena. But if you are in a state of people don't like me and I'm victimized and I never have good relationships, you are going to have a heck of a time on the outside to be able to create that. But if you come from a place of, okay, these people are my mirrors and I'm going to work within, it's not about them, it's about me, if I'm attracting that, and I'm going to correct and change my beliefs about other people. But also remembering, especially in romantic relationships, that people are not your oxygen tank of love. It's not, if I get that relationship, I'll feel better. You have to feel better first and radiate love out to someone. That is the best partner you can be, if you're radiating and giving love to somebody rather than trying to find someone to get love from.
Right. I hear you. It's the same as saying, when I get the new car or when I get the new home, I will be happy. No, it's important for us to be happy as we are.
Yeah, and that thing out there isn't the thing that makes you feel. It is you that makes you feel through your interpretation of everything. So, you know, if you think that I'm single and because of that I'm lonely, then your loneliness repels a relationship. But if you feel that you are single and you're just alone and you feel really good, then you're in a great state to then attract someone, because you're not looking for them to fulfill you or to give you what you're not giving yourself. Yeah. A bit of a side salad today, Annette.
Yeah.
I don't know where we went, but yeah, we went there anyway. Oh, God. How funny.
The thing is, it's basically simple. It's just that we as humans complicate it so much. We put on all of those layers, don't we, and bury the self-love rather than bringing it out. And being, you know, how often do we stand in front of the mirror? Even this morning, it was like, oh, the hair, instead of being able to go, you know what? It's okay. Yes, it's messy, or it looks a bit eccentric or whatever. That's okay. It's in fact, it's more than okay.
Yeah. I always think of that photo of Einstein, because I've got crazy hair too. I think, God, that man was photographed. Every photograph he had crazy hair. You never saw him with his hair slicked down with gel. And so look at him. He was amazing. You know, he was fine with his hair. He was, you know, a creative genius, as they say. And we see every photo of Einstein is the hair. So,
well, yeah. And how often when I feel that my hair looks yuck, other people will comment and say, oh, love your hair. And I think, wait, that's it. It happened. A friend, a gorgeous friend from Denver, arrived in Melbourne yesterday with her beautiful man. And she was saying, oh, my hair. I thought her hair looked absolutely fantastic. So, yes, it's what do
Yeah.
they say about being in the eye of the beholder?
Yep. Certainly is. Certainly is.
We so need to embrace ourselves. So, Agnes, people can go to YouTube and put in your name, Agnes Vivarelli. I sense that they might also find you if they put in what they are looking for, whether it be, if they put in meditation, obviously you would be there amongst lots of others, and the same with the other, if they're depending on what they're looking for. However, they could also go to your website, apersonofInterest.com. Is there the AU there? I always get confused with websites.
.au. I know.
Excellent.
There's a .au. Yeah. But, Annette, I want to say, like, in terms of people getting relief on certain subjects, if they go to YouTube, it's free. If they put in my name and then they put in a keyword like dream job or specific person or relationship or money, there's a whole lot of information there that's free. You don't have to pay anyone. You go on there and you listen and you learn, and if you follow what's said, you can really transform everything in your life for free. And that thing of applying the solution constantly and deactivating the problem, a lot of the YouTubes, they don't use those words per se, but that's what the YouTubes are doing. The YouTubes are there to give relief. The YouTubes are there for you to be able to just enjoy changing your mindset to get that relief, to move towards what you want in a relaxed fashion. Honestly, it doesn't have to be stressful. And also, there's 3 free courses on there. If you put in free courses, you will see you do free courses on work, free courses on relationships, and you can actually go through the YouTube again for free, and it's there for anyone. You know, the thing I had made a decision I would do is there would always be free stuff, because when I was struggling with money and was in debt, I said, when I get to the place where I've actually got something to give, I want to do a whole lot of stuff for free still, and that's there for those that can't afford it.
See, I love that. And you are feeling secure. You know that you are being looked after, that you receive more money than you say need. I love the way that, and again, it's the mindset that is creating that.
Yeah, I actually don't have a fear of scarcity around money anymore, and I make sure that I give at least 20%, 25% a month for free. I do free Q&As, and I make sure I give away courses, and all the YouTubes are free, and I make sure that I continue to do that. I actually have an overabundance of work, and you know, I'm really grateful for that, but I really want to give people that are struggling, that can't afford, because there's a lot of countries that their currencies are so low in relation to ours, in Australia, US, UK, Europe, their currencies just cannot afford what we charge. And I don't want people to be excluded because of that. I want to make sure they can still join in and get a big part for free, because a lot of people gave me a lot of free help on YouTube, books, and face-to-face. People helped me, and I will never forget those people that gave me a hand up.
Thank you so much, Agnes. Fabulous. Thank you, listeners, for joining me, and may you love yourself in the coming week. Make it your first priority. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to another fabulous program on Angel Heart Radio. Our goal is to remind you of how much you matter in the world, and to let you know that we appreciate who you are in the world. You can check out who's on, when we're on, and who our guests are at angelheartradio.com. Everything is there. It's all just one click away. Angel Heart Radio programs are powerful tools to help you in your life and your life experience. They are not intended, nor should they, be used to replace your medical or legal advice. The views expressed by hosts, co-hosts, callers, guests and associates should not be construed as advice from Angel Heart Radio.